We saw one of the most consequential elections in American history. You've cast your ballot, the numbers have been counted. From races in your backyard to races that will have implications on local, state, and national legislators. We're here to break it down. With America at such a divisive and pivotal moment. Did the much talked about blue wave sweep across America? Or did Republicans hold their ground? This is Wake Up Call's coverage of the 2018 midterm elections.
Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Call's election coverage. I'm Keely McCormick.
And I'm Malik Jackson, and yes, this is a special edition of Wake Up Call as we're covering the 2018 midterm elections. A lot of news was made last night, so let's get started. And if the blue wave ran into a red wall, that wall was certainly past Kansas, with Democrat Laura Kelly defeating Republican candidate Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach, a race that was close and expected to stretch into the night, but was called a little after 9 p.m. Central Time. That wasn't the only surprise in Kansas, as Sharice Davids defeated four-time incumbent Kevin Yoder in the 2nd District, making Davis the first Native American woman to ever be elected to Congress and the first openly LGBT person to represent in Kansas. It was a different story in the 2nd District as Paul Davis was unable to defeat Steve Watkins, leaving the district red. Let's take a quick look at what Steve Watkins had to say after the victory.
And military leadership to the politicians on Capitol Hill. Since that day, tens of thousands of Kansans across 2nd District have rallied behind my campaign to usher in a new generation of political leadership.
And Republicans were confident last night at Chris Kobach's watch party as they patiently waited for the results to roll in. I got the chance to talk to the campaign manager who was ready for the outcome. Take a look.
We're feeling really good. I mean, I've been on a bus crisscrossing the state of Kansas for the last 2 weeks, talking to people on the ground, getting a feel for where they feel. And so I'm excited. You see all the people in the room. These are people that have been on the phones, going door to door. And so they're ready to celebrate. It's going to be a victory night for the Republican Party. And so I'm positive.
That was early on in the night. The party started with high spirits, excitement, and music. However, that positive vibe started trickling away when Laura Kelly started to pull ahead. Kobach said Johnson and Sedgwick County would be crucial to his success. And despite the major news networks calling the race, Kobach did not concede until about 10:30. Take a look at his concession speech.
And thank you for everybody who who supported us and prayed for us. I know that we were carried by prayer. It was a tough race. We battled close to the very end, but this one just wasn't God's will. So I'm really grateful. I just want to express that gratitude again and again. It is such an honor to have been fighting beside you in this political battle. The state of Kansas has a bright future ahead.
Well, KUJH reporter Grant DeMars was also in Topeka at the Laura Kelly watch party, where he said the positivity and excitement only increased throughout the night. So let's take a look at Kansas's new governor, Laura Kelly, and her winning speech.
They put political partisanship aside, and they spoke with a single thunderous voice for Kansans. Today, Kansans voted for change. And that change will come to Topeka now.
And that is certainly a big development here in the state of Kansas, the first Democratic governor since Kathleen Sebelius in 2008. Moving along to big news nationally. After 10 years of being the minority party in the House, Democrats will take over the House of Representatives with a resounding win on the map. On the screen is the map. The current state of play, the Democrats only needed 218 seats total to be in the majorities. At this current moment, they have 222 seats. 199 the Republicans have. There are still 14 outstanding races where Democrats could still pick up more seats. CNN projects that the Democrats will walk away with more than 230 seats when the results are all said and done. Former Speaker and likely the next pick for Speaker Nancy Pelosi was happy, to say the least. Take a look.
Thanks to you, we owned the ground. Thanks to you. Thanks to you, tomorrow will be a new day in America.
And moving to the Senate Republicans were able to keep their majority, and they picked up seats in Missouri, North Dakota, and Indiana. The Democrats picked up a seat in Nevada with president-endorsed candidate Dean Heller, falling short to Jackie Rosen. There are still races in Arizona, Florida, Montana that have not been called yet. Joe Manchin was able to keep a seat in the red state of West Virginia, and the Democratic rock star candidate Beto O'Rourke fell short in his bid for Senate, losing by just over 2% in Texas. Again, no matter how the final three races turn, Republicans will hold that much coveted majority in the Senate.
And very exciting news for women all over the U.S. There will be 117 women serving in Congress and possibly more, as there are still outstanding races. This is the most women ever in the history of the United States to serve in Congress. And yesterday, after taking to the polls, the ladies began placing their I voted stickers on Susan B. Anthony's grave.
A nice move there. Congratulations to them. That is a big swell, 117 women.
Impressive.
And moving along to more results. There were 35 governor seats up for grabs last night, and the Democrats made inroads, picking up 6 seats held by Republicans. Upstart candidate Andrew Gillum was unable to win in Florida. In Georgia, it's a different story. The race still hasn't been called, and as you can see on your screen, it's close. It's important to note that the winning candidate must get over 50% of the vote, or there is a mandatory runoff. At the moment, Secretary Kemp is slightly up. If they can put that up on the screen, he's slightly up. So if he gets under that threshold, he will have to have a mandatory runoff with Stacey Abrams come the beginning of December. And of course, we'll follow that for you and update you next week to see if she was able to force that runoff or if he was able to win. She's simply waiting on absentee ballots to come in out of Metro Atlanta.
And Donald Trump is expected to hold a press conference at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 10 a.m. Central Time. He's expected to address the results of the midterm elections,
which were a huge deal right there. We're going to take a commercial break and we'll be right back on Wake Up Call.
When you shop local in the heart of the city, you support the people that make our community thrive. The money you spend here stays here, in this place we call our home. Lawrence, Kansas, where there's good old-fashioned hometown pride. Eat local, drink local, shop local.
And welcome back to Wake Up Call on this very special day. Keeley went out to see if young voters would show up to the polling station this year. Let's check it out and see if they made it.
Some people were unaware that they had to register by a deadline. Some didn't know if they should vote at home or here in Lawrence, and some just didn't know anything about the process at all. And I spoke with a variety of students on KU's campus, and only 7 out of 20 said that they'll be voting.
I think there are various reasons that students don't vote. Firstly, I've noticed that there's a lot of misinformation out there about how do you register to vote and how do you vote. And I think especially for students on college campuses who are coming from other places, it's kind of confusing because you don't know, well, should I still register to vote at home where my family's from? Should I register to vote here? What should I do?
Even with those barriers, some professors are still doing their part in driving students to the polls. I talked to Mary Hamler, a supervising election judge, who thinks that the resources are available. Students just have to find them.
I'm pretty sure part of it is just the communication of we're here. And we've been really helped by the professors and others who come through and say, oh, I've got it on my website.
But that is not always enough. Jonathan Ruiz Cervantes from Young Democrats experienced those barriers firsthand when he headed to the polls.
barriers for student voting would have to be that a lot of students don't really know where to vote, how to vote, and first of all, how to get registered to vote. In the summer, the thing we encountered the most was our volunteer efforts, where a lot of students didn't know how to register to vote, what they needed to register to vote. Who do they talk to? Who do they email?
While pollers expect a greater turnout from young voters, history disagrees. The U.S. has never seen more than a quarter of the vote come from 18 to 29-year-olds. In Lawrence, Keely McCormick, KUJH News. Welcome back to
And young
Wake Up
voter
Call.
turnout surpassed the percent in 2014 of 16%. Banter about the student voter race. No, it was a very good election. I know that the turnout early was huge. It was up 9 million people since the last election that came out, and a lot of that was young
And
voters.
surpassing it from 16%
since the last 2014, since the last midterm election.
And when I went out to talk to KU voters, maybe I got the wrong group, but I noticed not a lot of them were voting. But then once I continued to talk to them, and after yesterday, it sounded like a good majority of student voters, especially at KU, actually did end up making it out to the polls. So
It was, you have this right, use it.
Yeah.
No matter how
exercise
you
your
choose
rights.
to vote, use it. And now we're going to turn it over to weather gal Sal to update us on the weather.
Thanks, guys. We're going to go for today's current weather in Lawrence. And so moving into today, it's going to be breaking moments of sunshine and clouds moving in. It's going to be 47 degrees all throughout today and be cool with a little 5 to 7 mile per hour winds, and the sunset's going to be at 5:14 tonight. And you'll see the effects showing up from 7 to 10 mile per hour winds. And the chance of precipitation is at 2%. So tonight, what we're going to expect is 30 degrees with chilly northeast winds from 8 mile per hour. And it's going to be mostly cloudy moving in. And we're going to see, is there a potential for snowfall tomorrow? And on tomorrow's forecast, you'll see the mixed snow around 1 to 2 p.m. Around noon to 1, you'll see slight rain moving into flurries. And the chance of having more than 1 inch of snow is only at 16%, and having it above 0.2 inches of snow is at 21%. And so it could be the record temperature for that low of November 8th tomorrow to reach 22 degrees that night. And so the precipitation is at 60%, but you'll see in the evening forecast around 5 p.m. it'll be 35 and cloudy as the incoming clouds moving on around 6 p.m. You'll see the light rain moving into the flurries around 7 to 8, and then a wash off around 9. And moving into the final extended forecast for our week, you will see on Thursday the expected light mix of snow and rain, moving into the lows of 25 onto 37, which hits the 13 on Friday night. Saturday is going to be 39 with breaking sunshine and scattered PM showers, but hopefully around Lawrence they will pass us. And on Sunday, partly sunny with more incoming snow of a potential around 16% on Monday for passing showers. And that's it, and I'm going to toss it back to Keely and Malik for more information.
Thank you, weather gal Sal.
Snow.
I'm not ready for snow.
I am. I wasn't ready, and then I work with another weatherman on another show, and he said maybe a snow day. So I
I'd
was like,
appreciate a snow day.
Snow all you want. I could use a day off from school.
I don't like the little snow where it's just cold though and you still have to go to school.
Yeah.
I'm down for the excessive amounts of snow. How many snow days did we have last year? I think it was
2.
like...
They were technically not snow days. They were
cold.
ice days.
Yeah, ice days.
Because it doesn't snow here anymore. Ices. It's dangerous out here.
Well, after the commercial break, we'll be back to tell you the outcome of the basketball game last night, plus some football news, so stay tuned. welcome back once again. The KU basketball team is back as they took on the 10th-ranked Michigan State Spartans in Indianapolis for the State Farm Champions Classic. The top-ranked Jayhawks took down Spartans by a score of 92-67. 4 of the 5 Kansas starters had 15 or more points, with freshman Quentin Grimes leading the team with 21. Fellow freshman Devon Doxton also impressed with 16 points on the night as Coach Bill Self decided to start the 2 freshmen in his backcourt. The Jayhawks will next take on Vermont this coming Monday.
Well, that's exciting, and they're good. So
It's exciting to have KU basketball back and rolling.
I mean, not only back, but very, very good.
Yeah, my best friend from home goes to Michigan State, and last time we played them, we lost, and I owe her B-dubs still. So last night I said, okay, maybe we'll rebet B-dubs. So we're even.
Maybe just even.
We're even now. Thank God.
All righty. Moving along, football head coach David Beatty will not be returning to Kansas football after his 4th year of coaching in Lawrence. Athletic director Jeff Long announced his departure on Sunday afternoon. Beatty will finish the season coaching the final 3 games. His buyout is $3 million, and KU will pay him in 6 equal increments. The Jayhawks will head to Manhattan, Kansas this Saturday for the annual Sunflower Showdown, and kickoff is set for 11 a.m.
How do you feel about David Beatty leaving us?
You know, I hate to say I told you so, but if I remember one of the very first shows of the semester, I said...
Malik said, give him the boot.
And I tell you what, Jeff Long must have watched our broadcast.
You called Jeff Long up, didn't you?
No, he was watching the broadcast. I don't interfere with people's jobs. He was watching the broadcast, and he said, you know, that's a smart man. And he listened to my decision. All I want to say is I told you this was going to happen.
I'm excited to see what is to come. Maybe Kansas football culture really will turn around, which would be...
If we hire Les Miles, that's the guy. Last time I predicted something about the KU football coach, I was right. So let's see if I'm right.
Well, we'll see. We will keep you guys updated on if Malik's right about that. Moving on to Icon bearing good news. This picture that is about to come up on screen of the old man holding this baby has gone viral. He's being praised for his kind gesture. The mother walked into a doctor's office in Florence, Alabama, when she was handed a clipboard with paperwork. The mother seemed shocked as to how she was expected to fill out this paperwork while holding her sleeping child, but the mother sat down, and that is when Joe Hale asked if he could help by holding the baby for her. Hale then cradled the little boy while the mother finished up the paperwork, and a bystander in the office was able to snap the picture and post it on Facebook.
What a great, 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 great story.
Yeah, it's just a little gesture, and it is in Alabama where racism is very prominent. So it's kind of good to see that and see that he was just able to help someone out and be kind. Good news.
Absolutely. And now let's turn to Sally Chabuk with the final weather.
Thanks, guys, and back to our final weather. You can see that tomorrow we are expected to get that rain around 1 to 2, and you'll see it again around 6 to 7. You know, and the night it'll end off around 25 degrees, maybe hitting a low of 22, making a record. Friday you'll move in, it'll be sunny and breezy with a bitter cold. It's going 37, it's going to drop down to 13. This is where we're going to start seeing the cold front move in from the effects and maybe from the first snowfall. And the snowfall you'll be seeing is all coming in from Colorado and all over above from Minneapolis. And you can see on Saturday for game day, the game is at 11 a.m. and it'll still be chilly and windy around that morning. There'll be some breaking sunshine and heavy clouds moving in, and still moving around 26 around cold nights that you will want a jacket when you go out. And on Sunday it'll be partly sunny, moving in from 47, warming back up, but it will drop down to 43 back again on Monday, hitting a low of 17. And then we're going to toss it back to Malik and Keely. And thank you. That's it for Weather Gal Sal.
Thank you, Weather Gal Sal, for that most important forecast. That is so sad. You know, I was just thinking in my head, why does it have to be this cold this
I don't know.
soon?
And get dark. It was 5:30 yesterday, and it was pitch black outside. I'm not ready for that.
Some more information on the midterm elections. The Mississippi Senate race, the results have came in, and no candidate got over 50%. So that will go into a runoff. And of course, all this election stuff will keep you updated next week. I also made an error earlier in the show. Kevin Yoder and Sharice David's race was the 3rd district. So David's won the 3rd district. Watkins won the 2nd district. a lot of information, a lot of important stuff happened. But as Nancy Pelosi said, not that I'm taking a side, completely neutral, but today is a new day in America. Donald Trump has woken up with a new reality that he no longer controls the House and the Senate. He must, work. He must compromise now. And the Democrats, will have some power and subpoena power. And to really make decisions and to change the course of the country on the track that we're on right now. So it is what it is, but the Democrats have taken the House back and the Republicans have kept the Senate.
That's right, and we will continue to keep you updated on our Instagram at WakeUp_call. So check that out for any new information.
Absolutely. You have a good weekend.
You have a good
Sally,
weekend. You have a good
Keep
weekend.
us warm, that's all I'm asking for. Either keep us warm or give us a snow day.
One of
There's
the
two
two.
options. You can't be in the middle.
Oh. All right, well, that's all we have for you guys today on Wake Up Call. I'm Keely McCormick.
For Sally Jabook, I'm Malik Jackson. Thank you for taking time to spend with us today. We'll see you right back here next Wednesday at 9 a.m.